Hello, everybody, and welcome to another episode of Derp Your Hooves. I know it's been a long time, but I've actually been derping hooves, and I haven't had time to record some videos. So today we are in the Rockwell OV-10A Bronco. So let's hop on into the cockpit, and let's get underway. So a little bit about this plane is that it was used as an observation aircraft by the U.S. military, and I understand that it's still in service today with other countries. You know, there's that nose wheel steering interfering with the rudder pedals again. Anyhow, so it was used by the U.S. military. I forget when they stopped using it, but let's focus on getting off the runway and going straight down the runway. And about here. Alright, that's over with. So, it was used by the U.S. military, and I forgot when they discontinued it, but this is a freeware aircraft, and according to the specs, it has a cruise speed of 244 knots and a maximum altitude of 30,000 feet and a range of 1,200 nautical miles. So, this is actually a fun little plane to fly around, and if I hadn't mentioned, this is the free version that you can get on flightsim.to. I forget who it's by, and I could put their name in the credits, the developer's name, but it is a free aircraft, and of course, as you can see, we have decked it out with some Derp Your Hooves livery stuff, because, well, this is Derp Your Hooves. So, if you can guess where we are, if you hadn't heard it already, and I'm pretty sure that the AI air traffic controller will chime in at any moment to let us know that Derpy Pony Plane is cleared. We're leaving the airspace. Alright. So, I'm still getting a hang of flying this. It's a fun little GA plane. It really is. And in my opinion so far, from what I've flown of it, it's actually put together quite well. And it gives you, obviously because it was a observation plane and a forward air controller aircraft, it has great observation, great views. And we can even go to the back seat. I've set up some cameras for the back seat. See, look, you can be... See. And now you're going to find out where I am, if you don't know already.
Nellis Tower, Derp Y Delta Echo Romeo Papa, minus Yankee frequency change.
Okay, so we got the back seat back here. And everyone says, well, the back seat's not important. Well, the back seat's pretty important in this aircraft. But let's go back to the pilot view. And now that you know where I am, we can take just a quick spin around, and I promise I'm going to make this video as short as possible so that it doesn't drag on and on and on. And I am using everything except for the base that we took off from. This should be the stock Asobo scenery since I've reinstalled the sim about 2 months ago or so and completely rebuilt it from scratch, but that's just part of the fun of this simulator and throwing in third-party add-ons. So it really is a great sim, and this really is a great plane. Alrighty then. So, how fast are we going? We're going about 225 knots. And it looks like, well, I know that we can do more than that. Alright. So let's just swing around here, and there's the stratosphere. in all of its photogrammetry glory. And that would be Circus Circus. But wait, why am I doing it the old-fashioned way? Why am I panning and scanning? Right. Well, that is a good question. So, if you just bear with me for a second, after we make one pass, I'll make another pass. And hopefully I won't have to pause and edit the video. But, have you figured out where we are? Any takers? And a little bit of frame skippage, but that could be from OBS recording to another drive. So, oh, see, I spoke too soon. But we will iron that out too. So, here we are, OV-10A Bronco. And now that we're here, let's switch to fancy mode and try out one of my newer toys, since VR recording is very difficult. And not bad, but nose up, pony. Let's try and not wiggle our head too much. Ta-da, there's the ground. And this is a fun little thing that I just picked up recently. I picked up the Tobii Eye Tracker 5, and I've been playing with this for a while, trying to calibrate it for, well, if you ever own one or decide to pick one up, you'll see that just like VR, it takes a lot of calibration to get it exactly where you want it. Oh, stall, stall. See, it's like, shut up, pony. Cállate la boca. El caballo. Right. But I mean, it would be fitting that for Derp Your Hooves, we're flying a Bronco, right? Why are we getting so much stall? That's interesting. Well, that's why I checked the outside, because I'm not sure where the flap indicator is on the instrument panel, because forbid that I call it a dashboard. It wouldn't be the right terminology for what's sitting in front of us. And I'm pretty sure that as I fly this more, I will find the flap indicator. Because for some reason, some of the switches in this are set backwards. So when I actually deploy the flaps, they retract, and when I retract them, they deploy. But it's just, you know, learning how to fly all over again. So one more pass down the strip with a little bit of downward trim, and with the head tracker, I don't know how well I'm going to do with not hitting buildings. I mean, the Vegas Strip is pretty big, so you'd think it wouldn't be that hard. Alrighty. Try not to hit the buildings as we fly down. And when I used to fly DCS, this is fun to do in some of the DCS planes. And yes, you can fly lower down the strip too if you want. Or you can go for the gold and try a heavy populated city like New York City. And try and fly through there, which is lots of fun. There's the Trump Tower. And this is it. So this is the stock Vegas scenery in a freeware aircraft. Free. I said it was free, didn't I? For PC users. Sorry, Xbox users. I didn't see it for free in the marketplace. And I understand that there's a payware version of this coming out, which, by the way, should be a little higher detailed than the version that we're currently sitting in. And I can look down here, and I can look behind me, and see the Tobii Eye Tracker. And then once you calibrate it, by the way, it'll drive you a little batty if you don't figure out how to calibrate it, because it will literally track your eyes everywhere you go, and you'll be like, no, I don't want to turn my head in that direction. I'm just looking at, say my altimeter, and all of a sudden it goes down. But it's not, because I have it set to head tracking. But maybe that's another tutorial video that I will put out in a future date. But there are already some great ones out there that help me do this tutorial. So let's switch back to non-head tracker view, and I will give you the outer view of the Bronco, since we spent so much time in the cockpit. Here it is in all of its glory, and it has more tanks than just the belly tank, so that you get a complete full range of it. And just forgive me, I'm trying to fly and not crash. And no, don't worry. The Derp Your Hooves livery is not in there, and it's not in the package, so you're not going to have to look at any cartoon ponies. There's actually 3 liveries for it. There's a Navy, Air Force, and Marines that comes standard with it. And there's not much weathering on it. I also know that some people are big fans of dirty weathered aircraft that have never seen a wash rack and have not been washed. And let me tell you something, that's just because the ground staff that's supposed to wash it and clean it didn't do it. So, But it is pretty much a clean livery, the other two. Not really all that weathered. Very shiny. But still, I mean, this is great. This is a fun little plane. Fun little plane to fly. And I guess we could turn the track IR back on, and hopefully it won't pop me all the way in the back seat. Let's see. No, it's not, but it's still a little off. Oh well. Or maybe I just sit crooked in my chair. But so the eye tracker is lots of fun, because yes, I can do stuff like this without having to use a hat switch, which is really cool. And as long as I'm above the buildings, I can do something like this and install the plane out as I try and pop my head out. But that's what I get for trying to be fancy. Anyhow, so this is it. This is the Bronco. It was released recently, and I got wind of it when I was just, submitting my own liveries on flightsim.to, and I said, wow, really? It's out? And it's free? No way. No way is something free that's of at least halfway decent quality, if not really good quality in the marketplace, right? I mean, you're going to at least pay like $14 sometimes for total junk. I mean, things that are missing cockpits and, just exterior models, but, and stuff like that. But hey, I hear that someone might be making a comeback with that. And, hopefully. Because I hear that they used to have really good stuff, and it would be nice to see some good stuff. But anyhow, no. And again, for people who like to, troll me, no, I didn't weather this one either. Sorry. So that's pretty much it. And we're just going to go ahead and land and call it a day. And yeah, I know I complain about all kinds of things in the sim, but really, I do love this sim. It's great. It's lots of fun. And, you get, again, if I haven't mentioned it in other videos, there's so many airports around the world that you can choose from, not just 7 or 8 in certain combat theaters. And I hear, so I've heard, that there might even be, I don't want that runway, that there might even be some kind of air combat unofficially coming to Flight Sim, which for some people is lots of fun. I miss some of the air combat too, personally. But yeah, and you might want to check out certain developers who have not made it a secret that, there'll be things like Top Fun going on. But let's just land this little plane here at Nellis and call it a day. And it's amazing that even though I have live players turned off, it certainly looks like it's not. But anyways, so here we are, and I might do a flat landing. And even in this plane, a flat landing, what looks like a flat landing, is not always a flat landing. Alright. That looks like a horse and buggy. No. Alright. Yeah, too high, Pony. But it's a big, long runway. And I'm more concerned about getting it centered than I am about landing on the numbers. No, getting it centered is not going to happen. Stalling it out at too high of an altitude might. And there we go, a little bit of bounce. A little bit of rudder to keep it straight, a little bit of brakes, and nose down. And here we are. And I'm pretty sure there's a reverse thrust on this too. Actually, there is, but we're not going to use it. And you see that? My nose wheel steering, even though I have it totally centered, is not registering as centered. Oh well, I guess more troubleshooting for Pony. Try and figure out what's wrong with the nose wheel steering, which would be an option I wish we could just turn off. For those of us who decide to just steer with rudder pedals, could do that and not have to fight with the nose wheel steering as they're going down a runway trying to take off. But, you know. So, here you go. The OV-10A Bronco. Totally free. You can go ahead and get yours on flightsim.to. And, by the way, no, you don't have to pay for it. You don't have to pay to download it. It's just that you get stuck with the standard download speeds. And for some people who may have a regular bandwidth, you might complain about how long it takes. But, you know, really, what's a couple of minutes to a couple of seconds? Alrighty, and let's see if we can't put this under an awning. And I'm going to try to keep the track R on as long as possible. And I'm just using the rudder pedals and the brakes to steer as I fight with, again, the nose wheel steering. Because that's what it likes to do. It likes to fight with you. Although, it might be time for a new throttle. That could be what's going on here. It's so hard to say. Yeah, I mean, you almost need a degree in at least IT computer tech support in order to be able to mess with this sim sometimes. Or it could just be Windows. I don't know which. Maybe both. But anyhow, let's just park it. And come on. Little less, little less. A little bit of crudeness there, Pony. I mean, you've got the throttle all the way up. Right, I mean, I could have just done that, right? So the one thing it won't do for you, and I guess now we could turn off the track IR because it's just too hard to see, is it won't let you crank the throttle back to... What? Make a liar out of Pony. It will. It will let you shut it off for some reason. I removed a mod, and maybe the mod from the other plane is what was causing problems. But you see, and then it'll shut off. And the engines should shut down, because there shouldn't be any more go juice going to them. Right. And there goes the right one. And there goes the left one. That's so cool. And then we can just say, well, what else do you need to shut off there, Pony? See, because before I was just using the emergency shut off, and that worked just fine. Oh, and we landed without landing lights on. For shame, for shame. Nothing good to see in there. And we can leave it on run. We can leave it on run. We can leave it on run. We got our avionics master, which is up here. See, I'm actually, I don't know why it does that. So we could turn it to off, not just off. And turn the alternator off. We don't need that. And turn the other one off. And then the master switch. And then everything spins down. And you can say, gee, well, I'm done flying for the day. I would like to get out of here. I've got important photographs that need processing. Alrighty. So there we are. And I don't think, let's try. No. And no, won't let you do that. So I'll just go back to that. And we'll just do the usual external view. And there you have it. All nice and parked with the canopy open. Parked at Nellis. Ready to go ahead and submit its photos of, well, I mean, oh, you left the flaps down again, Pony. Ready to submit its photos of whatever to whoever. But again, OV-10A Bronco, and no, I'm not getting paid and I'm not getting endorsed, period. So just a fun little plane if you want to go out and have some fun and you want to fly something a little bit faster than, say, I don't know, a 172 or whatever your favorite plane may be. That's GA. This is just a fun little plane. So, again, thank you for watching Derp Your Hubs, and I look forward to seeing you guys in the skies.